I've had a couple people contact me about this type of problem. And the question, because it's here at number 7, really relies on how they want the end answer. In the box where you put the answer, it asks you to put it as either a reduced fraction or an integer. And so the question I'm getting is, well, when I run it, I get it as a decimal. How do I convert that decimal to a percentage? And the advice is really don't run it as a decimal. Keep everything as fractions. So let's go through this example that is of this type. They have a fair die that's rolled 3 times. A 1 is considered a success while all other outcomes are failures. Find the probability of 3 successes. So we'll do this a couple of times because I have a part B down here where we have a probability of 2 successes. So for 3 successes, no problem. This is actually nicer than the one before it where it said it at most 2 successes, right? And so this one is exactly 3 successes. So we want the probability of 3 successes. So you know what to do here at number 7. Hey, we're going to roll this die 3 times, and we want 3 successes. A success is a 1 coming out, and a 1 is 1 out of 6 opportunities on that die. So it has a 1/6 probability. I need that to happen all 3 times, and I need the 5/6 probability, the probability of failure, to never happen. So as we run this, don't run it as your on a calculator as just dividing things. What we want to do is do what you do normally. C of 3, 3. When you run that, you'll get a 1. 1/6 to the third. Don't put that in your calculator as 1 divided by 6 to the third. Just say 1 to the third over 6 to the third. And then you have 5 to the 0 and 6 to the 0, but hopefully you know that anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So we just have 1 in as those bookends. And so here we have all that comes out of here is 1 to the third power, which is 1. We can grab our calculator to see what 6 to the third is. Most of us don't have that memorized. And so 6 to the third is 216. This is the answer that they want. Many of you were running calculations and, the ones that asked were running calculations and it wasn't, you got this long decimal. For example, this one's decimal is 0.004629 and it just keeps going. And like, well, how do I turn that into a fraction? Somewhat hard when it goes on forever. And so no one ever wanted you to be there. We wanted you to just say, oh, I got to stay with fractions. Okay, I'll keep the fractions that are already here. So very natural when you have fractions going on. So now we have this second problem, just to make sure we have a reinforcement and you can see it a second time. Now we want the probability of 2 successes. Okay. I'm still rolling that die 3 times, and I want 2 successes. The probability of a success, which is getting a 1 out, right? If we remember, a 1 is considered a success. And the probability of that happening is 1/6, and we need that to happen twice. That means we need the 5/6, the non-1, to come out 1 time. And so we run this. We take our calculators and we do C of 3, 2. And we come up with the number 3 times 1 to the second power over 6 to the second power times 5 to the first power over 6 to the first power. Then we keep this. I'm going to put this 3 in fraction form. 3 over 1. 1 squared is 1. 6 squared is 36. 5 to the first power is 5. 6 to the first power is 6. And so instead of just running that on our calculator, they want it in fraction form. Let's keep it that way. And so here I would do some reduction because they want it to be a reduced fraction. And so hopefully you can see the commonality here. I'll go in here in red. This 3 does have a common factor with 36, but I'm going to go out here to the 6 just to emphasize it can be any top number with any bottom number as long as it's a string of multiplications. Divide each by 3, so now this is a 1 and this is a 2, right? The 3 becomes a 1 and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I just end up getting my answer by multiplying the top numbers. 1 times 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 36 is 36. 36 doubled is 72. Let me just double check that. Yep, 72. This is your answer. If they want it to be a reduced fraction, They don't want the decimal. What does that decimal look like? 5 divided by 72 is going to go on forever. They don't want the 0.0694444. And if you go this route, it's very difficult to see how it comes back to the 5 over 70 seconds. Or 5 over 72 is what I should say. So if they want it in fractions, keep it in fractions. If they want it as decimals, just run it with divisions and multiplications and you'll do great. All right? Hope this helps.